The horror genre, my favorite genre of movies ever, a genre that I will love till the day I leave this earth. And when done right, I'm absolutely thrilled to say that I'm a horror fan, because there have been some great ones throughout the entire calendar year of 2023, some that make me think, my God, this is exactly what horror should be. And then over here, there are some that are so goddamn apocalyptically horrifying, ironically, that I question my life choices and I question the life choices of the people that made them. And I'm here to talk about the ones that really pissed me the fuck off, so let's get to that. I'm John Rethlin on my 15 least favorite horror movies of 2023 list with some honorable mentions. Over 130 horror movies that I've seen throughout the entire calendar year. Yes, that includes all the subgenres of horror. And my goddamn oh my, it has certainly been a very interesting year for the horror genre and all the subgenres. And I want to know your least favorite horror movies in the comments, please. And among the 130 plus horror movies that I've seen, it's impossible to basically narrow it down without forgetting some movies I absolutely hated. And you can check out all the reviews of these particular movies on the Real Honest Movie Reviews playlist. And 2023 is drawing to a close. There is still a little bit of December left, but I decided to just dive into this because I didn't want to wait for the year to be over before I shredded these movies one last time. So, we get The Lurking Fear. They spent allegedly $3.5 million on this, and I'd like to know where the remaining $3 million went, because it was cheap, it was ridiculous, it made no goddamn sense, it was edited with garden shears, but at least I got some entertainment out of it, kinda, as I lost my mind. The Trinket Box, a movie so goddamn dark you couldn't see what the fuck was going on. Seriously, it's on Tubi. Check it out. You will be amazed. You will think that your TV, your device, or possibly your very, field of vision has just gone totally goddamn shit. The Haunting of Alexis King. I appreciate people that want to bring friends or family members or people they want to give a big break to and create a horror movie on a small budget. I admire that, but this had enough material for about a quarter of what they did, and then everybody acted like idiots. Speaking of idiots, The River Wild. It's on Netflix. It somehow made The River Wild, actually, from the 90s, a whole lot better, which still wasn't a great movie. But yeah, River Wild, like, people just kept making dumb decisions when you could have simply just not done what you done. Yes, that's horror movie 101, but still. The Black Demon. Let's have a shark be a metaphor for bad life choices where you must pay by being even more stupid than the concept of the movie. The Black Demon was really, really bad. I mean, just, god damn it, this was fucking terrible. It was a shark movie with barely any shark in it. Anyway, Sick. A pandemic horror movie that should have been better than it was. And had an interesting concept, but wasn't good at all. I hated it. I hate all the characters. That's all I gotta say there. Disquiet. Guy's in a hospital, likely in limbo. Maybe he's the king of limbo. Limbo of the Lost had better writing than this. And Scream 6. Yes, admittedly, Scream 5 or 5 Cream or whatever you want to call it wasn't exactly maybe the benchmark of Scream movies upon rewatching, but I still really enjoyed it and thought it was quite good. Scream 6 had some interesting ideas and somehow managed to piss me off at every turn by making really, really dumb decisions. And I know the Scream movies have kind of gone down in quality, and there's a whole thing about not paying Neve Campbell what she was worth to be in this, and also the stuff that the studio execs have done with Melissa Barrera in the aftermath of this as they try to go to Scream 7 that probably should be totally goddamn scrapped because Jenna Ortega is not going to be part of it either, and they're left with characters that really weren't that interesting to begin with. Scream 6 was not good. Not good at all. The different setting was one thing, and the poor execution just pretty much nullified it. So now we get to the proper list right here. We go to number 15, Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, admittedly, maybe there are worse movies out there than this, and people might be pissed off because they are FNAF fans. Congratulations. You can love that game all you want. You can love the games all you want. You can love this movie all you want. I didn't. I thought it was stupid, and I thought it was overly long, and I thought it was bullshit. Kill Her Goats is number 14. Yeah, somehow they thought that a halfway decent opening would, justify having basically no killer for about the next 45 to 50 minutes of it. No, really. Kill Her Goats is barely a movie. It's barely a concept. It has a few inventive kills, mostly in the opening of the movie. And it was a Kickstarter funded deal, which I admire that, and I admire wanting to make a horror movie. And Kane Hodder was in it, and there were some women that certainly tried to act. They weren't very good, but they tried. I'll give them that much credit. But yeah, Kill Her Goats actually had a couple interesting ideas, and it just took them so long to properly present them that you just didn't care. But yeah, there was about 30 minutes of a halfway decent horror movie among this like 80-minute horror movie here. Oracle, it's on Max, at least it was when I reviewed it, and this is another one where it just threw everything at the goddamn wall to see what stuck, and all this stuck was bullshit ideas that they went with and just somehow managed to turn worse. Like, it's set in a house where you can't leave. You could check out anytime you like, but you can't ever leave. It's not the Hotel California. It's Hotel Hell, that's for sure. But yeah, Oracle, I don't really know why in the world they called it Oracle, because you would have thought there would have been some hoodoo that you do so well. This was just shoved out on Max. I had never heard of it, and I wish I had never heard of it. But at least I got to add another movie to the list. Then we get to number 12, The Tank. There's a water tank that houses something evil. That's about your lot right there. And it's not very good. It's not very interesting, and the family just keeps making dumb decisions, especially the patriarch of the whole goddamn family, and you just have to wonder, what was the idea? We're just going to keep, we're just going to keep having it raining. Here comes the rain again, washing away the memories of this movie, hopefully. Yeah, The Tank, not very good. Now we get to You're Killing Me. This movie killed me. It almost killed my interest in watching any more horror movies. More characters making more dumb decisions. Monumentally dumb decisions. And for something that was supposed to be almost like a halfway horror comedy, it was neither comedic enough to justify the bad horror or horrifying enough to justify the bad comedy. Yeah, the ending in particular just made me laugh because the character's like, oh, I can't do this, and then something really dumb happens to justify the fact that this movie basically finally at least reached a conclusion. It's like what I said about The Devil's Left Hand. That should have been on the honorable mentions. Is it a good ending or a bad ending? It's an ending, that's enough. Unwelcome. I was really disappointed by this because there was a great concept here. A great concept of people moving to, UK, Hamlet and everything to start over after, some crime had really driven them away from their particular place. And the fact that it was dealing with little creatures and little stuff and everything, and you had to honor the deal that you made with them, and then you didn't, and then there was violence and craziness. But the problem is the movie didn't lean enough into the goofiness, and then when it finally did, it really was treating it way too seriously. There was not nearly enough comedy in this for a concept so goddamn dumb. Unwelcome was very unwelcome in my eyes. The Devil Conspiracy. Okay, I might be cheating here a little bit because this really doesn't have as much horror as some of the other ones before and that I'm still to mention, but it's listed with horror in the description as one of the genres. And I'm putting The Devil Conspiracy here because it is a mess. It is a mess of a goddamn movie. It deals with heaven and hell and the Archangel Michael and all this stuff and whatever. I don't even think the directors and the writers knew what the fuck was going on. It seemingly was added and cobbled together by somebody that has a really bad attention span, and trust me, I know about that. And I think that there are people with bad attention spans out there that have never been in filmmaking that could cobble together a better film than this. The Devil Conspiracy was mind-blowingly bad. I saw this and Plane on the same day. And the fact that this movie was shoved out into theaters in January shows that sometimes January, while it has ticked up a little bit in quality, has really always been kind of one of the dumping months. That and September. Yeah, The Devil Conspiracy. I don't know what the conspiracy was. Maybe the conspiracy was, where'd all the money go that we spent on this goddamn tripe? Number 8, Sleeping Beauties. As far as quality, this really should have been number 1, but the thing is the Ole Anderson method. So many dumb things have, come up since, that this has, fallen further down the ladder. Sleeping Beauty features some of the worst fucking acting that I have seen in a long time, as far as horror movies or any movies. And I know that English was probably a second language for, a couple of the people, maybe, kinda. It seemed like language in general was a second language to them because nobody seemed to understand how to say anything in particular, like, without sounding like they were a goddamn alien from an alternate universe. And then you just see some of the worst special effects, cobbled together ideas of, like, a guy that I guess is trying to create the perfect bride and has killed women to do so. I guess. I don't even think Sleeping Beauties knew what the fuck it was supposed to be. It starts out not great, but at least you can kind of see where they're going. And then it just instantly gets worse and worse and worse. And it's filled with flashbacks to stretch out the time. It's on Tubi if you want to check it out, but it's really bad. Number 7, Bunker. I got killed for basically saying that this movie was an absolute load of shit. And it was. It was a bunch of guys on a set, in a World War II bunker, but it was obviously a set. Look, it's low budget, and I appreciate what they were trying to do, but their uniforms never got dirty trudging across the, very muddy and very messy battlefield and everything. And also the fact that it was dealing with ghosts. It was like a bad Fear Street book, except R.L. Stine could have come up with something better than this. Bunker was really, really bad. I watched this in theaters. I was the only person there, and I was so goddamn tempted to just walk out because it was not very good. Not very good at all. The execution was really shit, and even though the actors tried, they should have tried to be in something else. Because I really would like to know what the pitch was for this. Hey guys, we've got about this much material, but we need to stretch it out for about 90-95 minutes. So please, try to act your asses off. Even if I'm not giving you anything to work with. Fear. Fear basically should have come out in the early 2000s because that's about where this movie's mindset is, and that's not a compliment. Fear was a bunch of people. It was during the pandemic, and they're all gathered to study what their worst fear is. And then their worst fears come to life. At least as far as I remember. I remember watching this in January. I believe I watched this in Infinity Pool the same day. And Infinity Pool was weird. Mia Goth was great, and there were other good people in it. But Fear was one of the laziest and most uninspired horror movies I've seen in quite some time. Bad special effects, bad horror. T.I. is not a very good actor. And that's all I really have to say right there. So let's get to Pet Sematary Bloodlines at number 5. Yeah, Pet Sematary Bloodlines, a recent entry on my list. And also one of the most uneventful and unnecessary entries. Who was crying out for a prequel to Pet Sematary? Really, who was? I just want to talk. And hopefully make you question what fucking life choices you made. I hope people got paid well for this, but this was shoved out on Paramount Plus and was not good. Like, from the opening, it wasn't good. From the closing, it wasn't good. To the windows, to the walls. Pet Sematary Bloodlines. Lazy, unnecessary, uninspired, really, really trash. My God. The price we pay. Yeah, let's watch people I don't care about get tortured by more people I don't care about. And this was a concept for a movie that they felt should be put on actual film. It made no sense. It had no concept. Like, I didn't care about the heroine. I think the movie probably was inspired by people that used heroin. And if you use drugs, help is out there. But there is no explanation for reasonable-minded people thinking that the price we pay was a good idea. Thieves get besieged by people that are somehow worse at acting than they are. Yeah, it was certainly a price that I paid, about 80 to 85 minutes of my life that I'll never get back. There's something wrong with the children. There's something wrong with this movie. No parent would let their kids wander off like that. No parent would, understand why their children are acting like this without immediately thinking, I probably should contact the authorities. But no one wants to bother being that way. There's something wrong with everybody that was involved, and there's something wrong with the children. And I was looking forward to this, and it was dog shit. Number 2, I'm just throwing this away right now because I already know what it is. Children of the Corn. Jesus Christ. Burn everything, leave nothing standing. Now that's really what they should have done with this. This was absolutely abysmal. Some of the worst special effects that you've seen this side of the late 1990s. This was horrific. Horrific in the worst possible way. They've done so many Children of the Corn movies. The first one wasn't even that great. But there have been a couple halfway okay sequels since, I guess. And this apparently was filmed all the way back in like 2020 and was shoved out now and should have just been shoved into a goddamn ditch. Along with everybody that decided funding this was a good idea because you clearly don't know how to spend your money properly. Number 1, The Exorcist Believer. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I'm going to edit myself because otherwise I'm probably going to say things that I'm really going to regret, but check out my review of that. I ripped into it because I have no love for the original Exorcist, but I appreciate that it was a benchmark for horror movies, demonic horror, and stuff like that. Even if Exorcist 2, Burn the Heretic, is what it should have been called, was a serious downgrade. Yeah, The Exorcist Believer somehow managed to be worse than The Heretic. I don't understand how that's possible. Like, I don't care about the religious connotation or whatever. Ellen Bernstein, or however the hell you say her goddamn name, the Bernstein Bears. She was brought back and instantly nullified. My God, there's offensively bad, and then there's this. The Exorcist Believer is really, 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 really bad. So yeah, let me know your least favorite horror movies in the comments, please. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.